Good morning. That live occurred at the same time as if I was in a restaurant and the waitress came up. That's exactly the time that the waitress would have showed up, is when I had a mouthful of coffee to say, "How's your food?" Well, anyway, good morning. I'm Tanya Baldwin. I'm from Mind, Body, Spirit, Healthy Self. And hi to everybody that's going to catch me live and anyone that's catching me on the replay. Thanks for tuning in. I can't even speak this morning. You know why? Because it's Friday. Yes. We made it to Friday. But I've said this before and I'll say it again because it bears repeating. I hope that you're not living a life that you're chasing things in the future, right? If we're always looking ahead, we're not in the presence enjoying this morning. Good morning, Mary. Hi, love. How are you? But yeah, if you're always looking forward, then you're not in the moment, right? And we get into that situation where, we're at a job we don't like. So we're always looking for the weekend. We're always looking for the Saturday and the Sunday, right? And that's not a great way to live your life if you're always waiting to get to that point. And especially if you're in that state where you're like at a job that you can't stand, so you're constantly waiting for Saturday and Sunday, and then they go by so fast, and then you're back to that part where you're not happy. So if you are in that situation, I hope you find a way to transition to a space and to a job that you enjoy more, and get used to looking at the moment and loving it. Hi, I love it. I do too. I love it. You just happen to appear. There must be a reason why you and I are connected. There's something that I'm sending out that you're attracting to, or vice versa. Somehow we're connecting. So the tarot cards for today, the tarot card is the Eight of Swords. So this is a minor arcana. And I just love the pictures of that. So let's see what the message is. But first, let's not squint. Let's use glasses. That's what they were created for. So the Eight of Swords. So the Light Seer. So again, the Light Seer is in the upright position. Feeling stuck. A time to open your eyes to unveil the truth. Having more options than you thought. An opportunity to let go of an old story. So the Shadow Seer is in the inversed position, which for this card, and with the reflection in the mirror, it'd be hard to necessarily sell. Shadow Seer is being a victim, feeling helpless, using your stories or past experiences as excuses to remain shackled. And I'd put up a post about that, about what is the story that you're telling? Like, what is the story that you tell? Is it one of being a victim, or one of being, what you've overcame? Because when you look at life as all these experiences that are happening to you that you have no control over it, then you stay in that victim state and you just let things happen to you and you don't do anything to change it. You have to change your perspective on things and put yourself into that like warrior, at least a survivor state, where you know that the things didn't happen to you, the things happened, and you were a part of the experience of what happened, and that that you can move on from that by being in that upright position, not in the "it's happening to me" position. So this is a gentle reminder that you create your reality. Look beyond the veil of illusion that your current limitations are projecting. If you are feeling trapped with no path forward, remember that this too is a perspective that can be lifted. When you choose sovereignty over victimhood, you become the fierce wielder of choice. You can free yourself from your shackles, and you can shift your outcome dramatically by accepting that you are the one person who is responsible for your happiness. And it's true. There's a lot of times where we put our happiness or our joy into other people. It's my partner's responsibility to make me happy. And it's not. It's your responsibility to make you happy. Your partner can definitely contribute to a negative experience in your life for sure, but it's your ultimate job to make you happy. If we give it our power away to somebody else, that's never a good thing. So create infinite portals of possibility by becoming the solution. We are never really stuck. Nurture your soul and spend the time you need to transmute any feelings of helplessness. While we can't control every experience that is put on our path, we can definitely work on how we respond to each one. Let go of old stories and be vigilant of any wallowing, low-vibe thoughts that you may be holding on to. Reframe your experience as lessons and choose to heal. I am free to choose my healing and my light. So I'm going to show that. So if you want to take a picture of that beautiful little, I am free to choose my healing and my light. Come on. Thanks. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate you too. I really do. I love seeing you show up. It's like my little club, my little my coven. Ooh, you want to be part of my coven? This lady, there's a post that was going around, and because of being, an entrepreneur and stuff, it was talking about what could you talk about? Like, what could you do an event on for like an hour? And I was like, trauma, mental health, healing, crystals, witchy things, like, or whatever. So this lady commented and she's like, me too, all of it. It's just everything that you listed. And I'm like, want to be in my coven? Because why not? For fun, right? Okay. So in the shaman's dream, straddling worlds, wandering between realms was the card that I pulled today. So number 52 is a beautiful card. I love the way that the man is made into this beautiful beautiful bird. It's just beautiful. Beautiful. How many times can you say beautiful? A lot. A lot. Okay, so when the straddling worlds, it's called being comfortable in two states, wandering between realms, and reinvention. So I don't know who this is going to resonate with, but take what does and let go of what doesn't. So when the straddling world card shows up, it's an invitation to get used to living with one foot in your old world and one foot in the new. So this one was talking about not like getting out of that victimhood state. Well, maybe that's where you're straddling the world between the victimhood and the warrior, right? You're letting go of that old way of identifying with your story and sitting, as the victim in it. Now you're stepping forward and saying, no, I'm going to choose. I'm going to make choices to make my life a better life. I'm going to change that job that I'm not happy with, or I'm going to actually leave that relationship. Although there's pain and heartache that can happen, whether the relationship's good or not, it hurts to leave a relationship. You're going to have a grieving process. But on the other side of that, there's this open space available now that can be filled with something that's more aligned to you and that fills a purpose. The same thing with your job. If you're not happy in your job, make little steps to get out of it, even if it means incorporating a little bit of something each day. So you could, like I said the other day with animals, if you love animals and you've always wanted to work with animals, well, then start volunteering or start fostering a pet, or at least donate. If you don't have time, but you have money, donate, because then at least it's filling your soul purpose that you are, experiencing the animals that, or helping the animals that you want to help. Okay, so there is no way going back to the way things once were, and what will be is not fully here. You must find the delicate balance that can bring you delight as you relish the past and all your memories, along with awe as you glimpse with astonishment and at the exciting future. Do not wait for applause. Move on quickly, humbly, invisible to others. And a lot of times we have to make those changes in our private, right? We don't tell people about that because a lot of times people don't want you to change. They're used to the version of you that they see every day. And some of them, especially when they've been in, in a mean position in your life, when you start to assert yourself and you start to get power, they don't like that. They like you being in that abused state, in that victimhood, because they can take advantage, right? So you stepping up and out of that, that's uncomfortable. They don't want that. So they try to hold you back. That's why when you're making these changes, when you're choosing to change your life, that a lot of times it's better to do it in silence and not tell anyone about the moves that you're making. So this card brings an invitation to begin not only a new chapter, but a new book in your life. Do not break the news to anyone. Let people be as surprised as you are as you reinvent yourself. Make sure you are not just a slightly improved and more polished version of a dated and obsolete you. Birth yourself into someone original. Do not feel like you have to explain yourself to or be understood by anyone. Become a mystery, even to yourself. Gaze into the mirror one morning and be pleasantly surprised. Straddling Worlds invites you to become a true wizard, not one who performs magic tricks, but one who has mastered the dance between the visible and the invisible worlds, between the realms of form and formlessness. You are a birther of new ideas, of original and sustainable ways of being in the world. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, reinvent yourself, right? I did that. I used to be a gamer girl. I used to spend a lot of time playing games, and I also like I played a lot of video games. I had a much different life. I watched quite a bit of TV as well. Um, I had I talk about it all the time that when I did my healing, I radically changed my life. I changed every bit of how I do my day. I changed from watching TV to now pretty much the only time I turn the TV on is when I want to karaoke. Um, and I don't like I eliminated a lot of things that brought negativity to my life. So I did a detox of Facebook, and then I ended up just shutting my Facebook down. And this is my Facebook now because I restarted it as a business. So this is my profile that's associated with my business. But and I just left that other one. I just let it go because I thought in order to clean up all the negativity and stuff that was in that profile would have taken too long to go through. So it's just easier to completely reinvent myself. I stopped playing video games except for karaoke, and I started meditating. I started exercising. I started eating differently. I just changed everything, but most of all, I changed my thoughts, and that was a big help. Okay, so this is the deck that always gives us, a little bit of an interesting view. I joke because like she gives you a dose of reality in this deck. So the one that I pulled was Imagine, and I have never pulled this card from the deck at this point. I think it's just beautiful. I love that moon up there. Just a beautiful little picture. I'll push it a little closer so you can see that image that's standing in the light there. So let's see what card 20, Imagine. Oh, we're really close. Imagine. So the essential meaning of this card is turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity and illusions. The oracle's message: who do you want to be? Again, it's about creating yourself, right? Who do you want to be? Who do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power of imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. It's like Bob Proctor used to say, if you can visualize it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I'm pretty sure that's exactly the statement he used to say because I love Bob Proctor. I was sorry to hear that he passed away. It is an interesting deck. This is a very interesting deck. It has some harsh wisdom in it, but I love it. If you can dream it, you can create it. And that's how everything started. Everything started as a thought, right? And then it became a reality. So that's how we know we create our reality, right? This was someone's thought, right? The computer was someone's thought. This beautiful cup with the coffee. Someone's thought. They thought well when they thought. So this is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your souls. So right now we're at like the gibbous state of the moon. We're so close to the full moon. It's just bulging. Right now is the best time to be putting a manifestation out because it's birthing, right? Once it hits the full moon, that's when you release. You release everything. You release the things that didn't work for you. You release toxic thoughts. You release toxic people. You release everything negative, right? That's at the full moon. And then beyond, we do the release. But up until that point and at the gibbous moon, that's the biggest opportunity for manifestation. So what are we going to daydream? Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see things to come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. So if you're asking about a relationship, this is the message that this card gives in regards to relationships. In matters of the heart, it's easy to daydream about another as a means of connecting to that person. Well, that's romantic. If you want this relationship to be real, you need to go for it, not just dream about it. Now is the time to move beyond the daydream and into reality, beyond illusion and into fruition. Relationships are about relating. So step out into the dance floor where imagination partners with manifestation. The message of this card is that a person with attributes you have imagined will enter your life. You'll be changed for the better. Imagine that. The prosperity message. So if you're asking a message about prosperity, yes, and I'm married, just so you know, I'm doing a full moon ceremony on Sunday at 7 in my Divine Feminine Healing Collective. So if you're into doing moon, following the moon, and you want to release some stuff, what I do is I talk about the full moon, the fact that it's in Aries this time is in Aries. So I'll talk about how that affects you. When you show up, if you know what your rising sign and your moon sign is, as well as your star, your sun. Oh my goodness. And you're in Aries. Ooh, you're inventive. you're the starter. You're the starter and fiery and passionate. I love Aries. I'm a fire sign too, so I dig other fire signs. We can go create a lot of exactly. And I know some Aries. I love my Aries. So the prosperity message. This is a powerful time to get clear on how you create your prosperity, what it means to you to be prosperous, and what attributes you need to develop in yourself to make things happen. Who do you need to be to live out your dreams? Can you imagine the kind of life you desire? Really imagine it without holding back the sheer force of your powers of creativity. If you can envision it, you can have it. Get ready, for prosperity is waiting for you to claim it now. Act as if your dreams really will come true. So the protection message. Illusions and wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack have entered your life. So when I talk about the protection message, that's if the card turns up inverted. So I always talk about this just in case it's what applies, right? I'm Sag, just so you know. So I'm the finisher. You're in the realm of fire, because fire, it would be the Aries and then Leo and then Sagittarius. So I'd be the final fire sign and you're the first fire sign. So, we can begin and end things with our fire. So the protection message. So if this might relate to people, so that's why I'm going to read it out just in case this is what resonates with you. Illusions and wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack have entered your life. Now may be the time to see things as they truly are and not as you hoped or imagined they would be. Release any fear, then envision anew. Perhaps you are anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. And we get that, where we get into that negative loop, right? If we think that something bad's going to happen and we start focusing on it, and then we start really believing that something bad's going to happen. And oftentimes through our own self-sabotage and stuff, we end up making something bad happen. Like we actually create that experience. So then we become afraid of, next I could have another experience of the same thing, because it's obviously happened once, it can happen again. Right. And we get caught up in that. And that's our brain. Our brain is trying to protect us. So thank your brain for being protective. Say, thank you for trying to protect me, but you're overreacting right now. This is not the same situation, or this is not, this isn't going to help me anyway, being in this state of mind. Let's try to be, manage our emotional response. So anyway, perhaps you are anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. The universe responds to such projections, so be aware of this catastrophizing. And that's what it's called in CBT, is catastrophizing. So no matter what illusions and awfulizing are a misuse of imagination, clear the inner slate and stay grounded, stay real. Only then can you have what you truly desire. Okay, so that was a little bit of a good message in there. I like it. So they were some pretty decent messages, and I don't have a lot of time left. So I just get to talk about those messages and then leave. I didn't even get a reel done yesterday because I didn't do it before I left for work, because I ran a little late with my live. So I didn't end up doing it before I went to work. And because I didn't, then I ended up forgetting. It's not my usual. My usual is to do it in the morning. So I didn't remember. But that being said, I hope that these cards resonate with you. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. And if you're not part of my Divine Feminine Healing Collective, you have time to get involved before Sunday when we do our full moon release, which is a beautiful experience. I do energy healing with it as well. So I do a meditation and I walk you through a healing session. And I do use crystals. I don't use anything, woo-woo-ish to the point. I don't do any dark magic. So, like people have all these misconceptions about what a witch is, and, whether I'm a healer or a witch or a nurse, it doesn't really matter. I can tell you about what I do and how I relate those things together. But I have a lot of different knowledge and experience where it comes to trauma, mental health, and health and wellness as a nurse, and with all the other education and studies that I've done. But I also obviously learn tarot and oracle, and I have learned mystical or metaphysical things. I love crystals and I love energy healing, and I love plants and animals and, and all the natural stuff, right? So yoga, meditation, stuff like that. But anyway, that's me in a nutshell, is all those little things rolled up into one. And you can get a little taste of what that's like in my beautiful full moon release ceremony, where we'll be releasing some trauma. And anyway, I do hope that you have a lovely day. And if you're not joining me in that, stay tuned, because I do lives every day and I have my reels that are out pretty much every day. We'll say pretty much. And lots of other content and ways that I can help you to navigate through healing, trauma, and mental health. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.